You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.
Hello and welcome back to the Scottish Football Zone after that 90 minutes of football. Hearts came away with the 1-0 win. A late goal from Magnuson to give the Jambos an ever-important 3 points over their rivals. But Ethan, it wasn't a game full of quality at all, was it?
No, it certainly wasn't. It probably served us right as the neutrals watching after the 3-2 game in the reverse fixture at Easter Road, and I think we both tipped Hibs to have too much for Hearts today, and I think on another day maybe they could have took the 3 points. I thought in the first half it was a very even game, devoid of any real clear-cut chances, although Hibs looked maybe more likely with a couple of direct attacks they had, the long balls up to Dane Scarlett and Martin Boyle. And then in the second half, I thought Hearts started the half really well on top, but then Hibs came into it. They had their own wee spell, but it was Hearts who found the spell towards the end, and then obviously get the goal through Thomas Magnuson, the substitute. A really good goal from him as well, or a good finish from him, because it's good play from Harry Milner on the left-hand side to get the cross in. And then I was expecting Magnuson to go with his left foot, but he lets it sort of run across him and then puts it into the near post with his right foot. A really nice finish, really harsh on Hibs because there wasn't much in the game at all, but a massive win for Hearts, which probably puts them back on a high and gives them a lot of confidence ahead of that massive game on Sunday, and also puts massive pressure on Rangers and Celtic, who are obviously playing tomorrow. Rangers 6 points behind with that game in hand to play. Celtic 9 points behind with 2 games in hand to play. So yeah, I think anyone who had maybe wrote Hearts off out of the title race after their defeat at St Mirren, I think they've proved why that they're going to be a difficult lot to really write out of this title race. Just 12 matches to go now, and if they can get a positive result on Sunday, whether that be a draw or a victory, then there's no reason why they're not going to be in it right until the end.
No, definitely. I think just on this game tonight, Hibs for me were probably just edged it as the better side. However, there wasn't any quality in front of goal from them. I can't really think of any clear-cut chances, except from Martin Boyle, one that he skied from about 6 yards out. So, yeah, just a lack of quality in front of goal from Hibs. Lack of quality in front of goal from Hearts, obviously, until that Thomas Magnuson goal. I agree with you. Really nice finish from him. He took it really, really well. I suppose we'll go with the cliche. That's what champions do. You know, they don't perform well, maybe aren't the better team on the day, but they rode it out and they came away with the 3 points, and as absolutely massive. Does definitely put pressure on Celtic and Rangers tomorrow. Don't know what else to sort of take away from the. It's not really a game with many talking points. I think. I mean, it was scrappy. It was certainly feisty. Maybe what you'd expect from a derby in terms of challenges. There was a few ones flying about today. I suppose that's maybe the only sort of entertainment factor you can take from it.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game at all. There's no point trying to mask over that fact, but sometimes derbies turn out like this. It's teams are too sort of, most of the occasions it's like this. It's two teams that are too scared to really make a mistake and are trying to nullify the opposition rather than taking risk. I don't think that was really the case tonight. I just think the teams lacked the quality in front of goal to create the chances. Hibs probably did look most likely to get something through Martin Boyle. He had a shot in the first half, which was well saved by Alexander Swallow, and there was another chance I think can't remember who it was that put a ball. It was Nicky Cadden had put a ball over the top one of the times, and Barry Beringame had got back to make a really good tackle on Martin Boyle. And then there was another one. Can't remember who played the ball, but it presented itself to Felix Passlack in behind, and all he had to do in a 2-on-1 really was slip Martin Boyle in, and he overcooked the pass and made the Australian international sort of he couldn't get a shot away. But I think it was two really, I don't know, teams that just lacked that cutting edge and the quality in front of goal. But Hearts done enough. I thought David Gray made these substitutions at the right time and made some decent substitutions to keep them on top of the game going into the final stages. But when Derek McInnes finally chose to go to his bench, he brought some real quality off there. And obviously one of them gets the goal, and that's why Derek McInnes earns his wages, because his player that he brought on got on the end of that Harry Milne cross. I thought Harry Milne had a really good game. I thought he was one of the better players for Hearts. I thought actually Nicky Cadden had a really good game for Hibs as well. But yeah, there wasn't too many players that were performing well, but sometimes in these derby matches it is the finest of margins, and for Hearts they'll just be glad that they got over the line with 3 points, especially considering they obviously get beat off the Highbies the last time. So revenge for them, and does put real pressure on Rangers and Celtic, and because they would have been licking their lips for 87 minutes or however long it was of this match, where it looked like Hearts were going to drop more points and the advantage be handed over to Rangers first of all, because Celtic have obviously played a game less. But yeah, that's not the case now, and Rangers and Celtic still on catch up.
Yeah, no, definitely. And those games tomorrow become ever more important. Rangers with a really tough away fixture to Motherwell, 8 o'clock kickoff. Celtic 7:45, taking on Livingston at Parkhead, which should be a straightforward result. But there is added pressure. I mean, for Rangers, they especially need to, get that win over the line tomorrow. Because if they lose, it takes away their edge going into the game on Sunday, because they have a chance to go level with Hearts and potentially go ahead of them, depending on how the goal difference swings if Rangers score a barrel load. But massive pressure. One thing I will say though, maybe I'm going to get slaughtered for this, but if Hearts play anything like they did tonight on Sunday, I think Rangers will run over the top of them.
Possibly, but I think the problems that you've seen Hearts struggle with tonight, creating chances from open play, most of their sort of threat looked through set pieces. I think you could say that the same for Rangers. I know they obviously did find the net on several occasions in the last 2 matches, but Hearts are a completely different animal to a Queen's Park or a Kilmarnock or a Kilmarnock with 10 men as well. So yeah, we'll obviously see how Rangers get on against one of the best teams in Scotland tomorrow night, and then I think Hearts will need to play better if they want to get if they want to win at Ibrox. Certainly they'll have to play better than they did tonight, because they did ride out their luck to get that winner. So yeah, I think that's a fair point to make.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily as well talking about like creating chances. I thought their quality on the ball was really, really poor. They couldn't hold on to it. There was certainly no lack of spirit or fight from either team, but I think that's why it was so scrappy this evening. I just feel like Hearts did lack quality until obviously Harry Milne delivered it with that cross, and Thomas Magnuson did also delivered with a nice finish. But I feel like Rangers are in a stable place at the minute. I'm not saying they're a great footballing side and they're going to pass through them. I just think if Rangers if Hearts are as open as they were, if they gave up the opportunities for attacks that Hibs Hibs in the build-up. I just feel like Rangers will take advantage of that. But obviously, they do need to get past Motherwell tomorrow night. Not gonna lie, to anyone watching, I'm struggling to think of talking points here. So get your comments coming in, Ethan. Let me know if you've got anything. I feel like we've sort of discussed. We discussed a lot of this in the pre-show, and I don't think there's a lot you can take away from that game. I mean, Hibs, it's not a season-defining result for them. I mean, obviously losing to your rivals is always going to hurt. Hearts supporters will have the bragging rights over their mates for the next wee while, but I don't. If you look at it in isolation, losing to a team top of the table isn't like shameful. You know what I mean? I know obviously you can't remove the part where it is an Edinburgh Derby, but you know what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree with you. I think Hibs fans will be disappointed with the result, but probably not with their team's performance. I thought they weren't excellent, and they didn't deserve to win the game or anything like that. They were maybe slightly the better team than Hearts, but yeah, I think it's a hard one for Hibs to take. But I think they'll look at the performance and be happy that they went toe to toe with what we're calling the best, well, what is factually at the moment the best team in Scotland by the league table and by every other metric. So yeah, I think they'll obviously not be happy with that, but their aim is completely different to Hearts. They're looking to finish in those European places. Falkirk will obviously have the chance tomorrow night at home to Dundee to go level in points with Hibs. Hibs do have a ridiculously greater goal difference, but they'll need to start picking points up at a better rate, I would think, because with the way Falkirk have been playing in the run they're on. What I would say for Hearts in terms of your point of being open to Hibs, and if Hibs had played it about, but played the opportunities presented to themselves a little bit better, I don't think Hearts are going to be as open as they were at times tonight. I think Derek McInnes will go with a lot more of a maybe defensive setup. Craig Halkett's obviously going to come back in, I would think, or is it 2 games he's suspended for? I'm not quite sure. I think it'll only be 1 game, but it could be 2. And then I think we may see Chesnikov drop out, and maybe you bring Magnuson back in and go back to a sort of 4-3-3, because he seemed like a more goal threat than any of the Hearts players were carrying that started the match. Pierre-Andre Cabore looks to be struggling. I don't know if he's going to be the answer to replace Shankland in the short term, obviously, while the club captain and top scorer's out injured. I don't know whether that means someone else comes in, whether he does go for Rogers Matto. He obviously came on to make his debut. I don't really remember him touching the ball or anything like that, but is he fit enough to start for Hearts at Ibrox? I'm not sure, but that would be the main position of concern at the minute, I think, for Hearts, is that number 9 striker role. And possibly, I think they're missing Cammy Devlin's influence in midfield, but I think they were always going to miss that. I think Mark Leonard, since coming in, has done a decent job, but I don't think he's not Cammy Devlin, and they'll miss that like they did tonight, but they'll miss that on Sunday as well.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think you are starting to see, because initially we thought, their squad depth's so great they won't actually miss probably the 2 best players in the league this season. But I think we are starting to see the impact, and maybe some of our naivety has been exposed to the fact that how important Shankland and Devlin were. I mean, I agree with what you're saying about Leonard. Leonard looked decent, but he's certainly no Cammy Devlin. And they are. One thing I picked up on in the game, actually, that I thought was interesting, maybe points to the missing of Shankland, not necessarily on just the goal scoring front, but Hearts' only sort of way of getting forward, I think, especially in the first half. I know first and second half. Mainly, I'd probably mainly say the first half. they just kept trying to lump balls over the top, and running behind, and Hibs were eating that up easily, and when you have a player like Shankland in there, he would have been coming deep, linking it up. I mean, I feel like he's so undervalued for that. People just see him and they see a goal scorer, but his all-round play is fantastic. And I think that's one of the big elements that they're missing, and especially in their attacking play. They're obviously missing his goals, but he brings so much more than that.
Yeah, they're missing that sort of connective player between bringing the ball out from the back and then getting into attacking areas. And yeah, I completely agree with you. You've seen that tonight. I don't think their wingers really, Kazridis and Chesnikov, really got the better of their fullbacks much at all. They were doubling up on Kazridis especially a lot of the time. And you see, obviously, the goal comes from Harry Milne being advanced in that left side. So yeah, I think they do just lack a bit of, I don't know. They're obviously missing their main guy when it comes to attacking. So it is going to have an effect, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Injuries to key players do affect teams. The big thing for Hearts is that they're still getting, they have been obviously before the St Mirren defeat, still been getting really good results. And that's the thing that will give Derek McInnes, the players and the fans confidence that they're not going to let up this season. And I don't think they will. I think they'll go tie Brooks and certainly make a game of it. I don't know. I'm not saying they'll win the game, but I don't think it'll be easy for either side to win the game. So yeah, I think it's a massive win for Hearts in the context of the league, because I think if they had even drawn tonight, there would have been a few people saying, well, that's it done. And a few Hearts fans even sort of with their heads down saying, okay, we ran our race, but I think it's Celtic and Rangers time now. But I think you heard them singing at the end that they shall not be moved, and I think that's fair to say, because they haven't been moved all season, and we'll see what happens after Sunday. But regardless of that result, I think they're still going to be well in contention come the end of the season.
Do you think if Rangers or Celtic get ahead of them, there's a way back for them?
Yeah, I think there is. I think they've shown this season that they can battle through adversity. The main adversity they've faced, obviously, being the injuries. That's the difference. That they've had a smooth kind of season in terms of, I don't know, distractions, you could say, and I think they would need to have, because you're comparing the financial strength of Hearts compared to Celtic and Rangers, and the quality and the wages of each squad, and they're going to need some kind of things to fall their way. But this is the first bit of major adversity they face, with injuries to some of their key players, the suspensions going into derbies, and they've came out in a relatively positive manner, still top of the league with a buffer that they can extend over one of the teams come Sunday. Celtic have obviously faced sort of adversity throughout the season with the ownership, Brendan Rodgers leaving, Wilfred Nancy. Rangers the same, with the failure to recruit the right players, the right staff in terms of manager, chief executive and stuff. The 49ers obviously addressed that, and they seem to have got the right man under Danny Rule, brought in the right players, and I think Rangers and Celtic are in a forward momentum position at the minute, and Hearts are, I would say, are going through a really difficult phase. So I think they just need to maintain throughout this phase, stay within touching distance of Celtic and Rangers. And when they do get Cammy Devlin and Lauren Shankland back, it'll feel like completely new signings. Because Rangers, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the minute, Celtic and Rangers don't have any players like that, of that influence to their team, that are going to come back. I know Celtic have a lot of players absent, who have been absent for most of the season, key players. I know Rangers have a few. Connor Barron, but is he out for most of the season, or
March? You think he's due back?
So maybe Connor Barron, but this is one player you could put in that bracket, but I still wouldn't consider him.
Still got a centre back to come back as well.
Who?
Big Dell. Derek Cornelius, the GOAT.
Oh yeah, okay, right, but these are good players for Rangers, but they're not the same importance.
I would argue that Connor Barron's the same impact.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is.
He's not.
He's probably Rangers' best player.
He's not. He's right. Okay, he's maybe having the best season when he's been playing of any Rangers player, but he's not Rangers' best player. He's not even Rangers' best midfield player. So he can't have the same influence as Cammy Devlin. And I understand. I think he'll be a big addition to Danny Rowe's selection. Headaches when he comes back, but I can't put him in the same bracket as Cammy Devlin, Lawrence Shankland, and the Porters. I think that's disrespectful to the seasons that those two players have had.
How? Connor Barron's been brilliant.
No, I'm not denying he is, but I think that Rangers have got other players. I think Chukwueze, I haven't seen a lot of him, but from what I've heard, he looks like he's going to be a really useful addition. You've got
but he's not on the level of how good Connor Barron is. Barron's been better than every single Rangers midfielder this season.
Okay. Right, well, agree to disagree. I'm not saying that he's not could be a big player for Rangers, but I just don't think he's in the same level of importance to the Rangers as a football club as Cammy Devlin and Lawrence Shankland are to Hearts.
Yeah, obviously combined they're more important, but
no, I was meaning individuals. But anyway, regardless, as I said, you make the good point there. Combined, they're missing two players that combined that Celtic or Rangers are not missing. So that's my point, that Hearts are going to have to maintain through this really difficult period and stay. And if they can stay at the top ahead of Celtic and Rangers, ideal. If they maybe drop below a little bit, then...
Look at that. This is brilliant.
That's a good one. But you get my point. They're going through a difficult period, which Celtic and Rangers aren't, and they need to try and stay top if they can. If they can't, then stay in touch and distance of Celtic and Rangers, and that's what they're doing at the minute.
Yeah. There's an interesting point here when we were talking about, when I asked if Hearts, if Rangers or Celtic get ahead, Hearts, do they have a way back? And this is a really interesting point here. Rangers and Celtic are still to play each other before the split. I mean, I think in a lot of people's minds, that's a big game. In a lot of people's minds, they might be thinking whoever wins that game might be champions elect, but we could be thinking of an outcome where they draw, or one of them are a bit further behind when they get the win, and then that allows Hearts back into the fray. So, but yeah, I spoke about it in the pre-show though. I don't like talking mad hypotheticals and all that, but as it stands, Hearts are 6 points clear at the top of the Premiership table. And I'd say, as far as tonight goes, it was kind of a message just going, all right, hold on, we're here to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think this season's it's obviously indifferent to almost any other one we've seen in recent history. But I think that Rangers Celtic game at Ibrox, I don't think that's going to dictate where the title will go. Not by a long shot. I don't think. I think it'll obviously have some bearing if it's going to be one of those two teams come the end of the season. But I think in a season where we've seen that so many teams are capable of beating the three immediate title contenders, that until we get to the split, I don't think we really are going to have sort of title defining matches, as in, right, this team's beat this team or this team's lost to this team. That means they're out the title race, or that means they're going to win the title. I just don't, unless one of the three is to fall away, I just don't see that being the case, because I think there's so many hurdles for each team to go over before we get there. You could be talking about, I think Celtic have maybe got, they will play Hearts and Rangers at home in the split, but then they've still got, you may think, they've got the advantage in that sense, but then they've still got to go to Easter Road and Fir Park, so that these aren't grounds that they're going to go to and you can just say, oh, Celtic will win that. It's not going to be the case. I don't think any of the three teams are strong enough to just write off matches. Almost any match in the league. I know a lot of people will have Celtic as heavy favourites to beat Livingston tomorrow, and rightfully so, but there's no, Livingston could turn up.
Come on.
They could.
Come on. You're just letting your sort of doubts as a supporter creep in. Celtic will batter Livingston.
No, I think they will. I said my prediction was 4-0 to Celtic. I think they'll win easily, but it's been a funny old season. You never know what's going to happen, and that's what makes it even more entertaining. I think a lot of people tip Tibbs to get the job done tonight. They obviously don't, and it continues Hearts in a positive trajectory.
Mm-hmm. I think we've got Reagan in. I don't know if he's on yet or if he's just going cameraless. But yeah,
good to see you.
Good to see you too, mate.
You can't see him.
A last minute goal for Hearts. I did say that one goal victory, and it was sure a champagne statement. Fair play to Hearts. Derek McInnes surely enjoyed himself. I'm sure he's wanting I'm sure he wouldn't be inciting a ban from the SFA after celebrations.
Yeah, I saw that. Also, he's celebrated with that ball boy quite a lot recently, hasn't he?
I think Hearts are doing the thing that Ange Postecoglou used to do, making ball boys their best friends, because Celtic enjoy getting that ball on the pitch straight away. But a big 3 points for Hearts, and obviously now the baton moves over to Rangers against Motherwell, and obviously Celtic are home to Marvin Bartley's team as well. So I think that the title race tomorrow will take an almighty twist.
Oh, what's your almighty twist tomorrow?
I'm going to say it's going to be Motherwell 2, Rangers 2.
Oh, Rangers not your favourite. Rangers your favourites to win the league though, still, Reagan.
Yeah, because I think Rangers will go on and they'll beat Hearts on Saturday afternoon. But as I've said on this programme before, I believe that Motherwell for me are the best football inside in Scotland so far this season.
Yeah, fair enough. That's not a ridiculous statement to make, and yeah, I think it's a massive game tomorrow. Again, I'm not going to say it's. I just made the point about the Rangers Celtic game.
Are you going to Celtic Park?
Yes, I will be there for Celtic versus Livingston. I will be there.
As it was called on Saturday night, Asda, with all the green seats and green. But,
was I there on Saturday? You asking?
No, I'm just saying that on Saturday it was called Asda because of all the green seats and. But I'm just interested in terms of the boycott. What did you make of it? Because I'm not a fan of the boycotts. I don't think it helped the players.
I think supporters are entitled to their own opinion on these kind of things. If you want to boycott,
I think the supporters are entitled. Even, but I ask you the question: do you agree with the boycott?
Yeah, I think I do, because I think the Celtic supporters most of the Celtic supporters thinks there needs to be change at the helm of the football club, and they're trying different ways to go about that, and showing how powerful they are as a support in the sense of not going to attending the football matches is what they've chosen to do. And I think it probably doesn't really affect the pockets of the Celtic board much, but it maybe sort of sheds a light on what they can do. But
surely though, Ethan, we all know that I'm a Celtic supporter, and surely there's better ways for Celtic as a club, even or Celtic as a support, I should say as well, to go about it, because ultimately Celtic are in a stage where they're going for a double or possibly a treble just to wind up Alex. because Celtic might win the Europa League, Alex. But I mean, Celtic are in the space of a treble here, so they don't want to bring matters on the pitch. They want to get full support to the players because I don't know if you agree, with me, but I thought it definitely did have an effect on the players.
It might have done, yeah. It probably did. It was probably a strange atmosphere for them to play in, and one that they probably didn't welcome. But I agree with you. I agree somewhat with your point, and I think these boycotts they're a great idea, and they look great on the surface of it. But it was a Scottish Cup game against one of the weaker teams in the division. I think people are suggesting we'll try and do that for a bigger game, but fans are going to be less compliant when it comes to sort of bigger matches, your European matches, your derby when it comes in the split, the game against Hearts, the game against Motherwell coming up in March. So
these games are so important. These games are monumental because, I mean, let's face it, if Rangers and Celtic drop any more points, I mean, Hearts will be rubbing their hands.
Yeah, they certainly will. I get your point. It is important. I think the Celtic fans need to support the players, but I think a lot of Celtic fans see there's a sort of bigger picture to this than.
See another thing as well, right? I thought about this tonight, and obviously when I seen Charlie Mulgrew on the TV and obviously Alan Hutton as well. Do you think even that if Hearts do go on and win the league, that potentially that will wake Dermot Desmond up and say, right, I need to sell this club?
It could do, but I don't know. I think that would take a lot. I think, I don't really know what's going on. It's difficult to put a finger on, but I think, to be honest, unless Celtic don't win the league, I think that would be the only way that I'll see any movement. If Celtic win the league, then they're not going to move on. But if Celtic don't win the league,
there's going to be movement.
Well, you think the Rangers are going to win the league, so you think that there's a chance of movement. I didn't say there will be 100% movement, but I said there will 100% not be movement if Celtic win the league, because their lack of, I would say, ambition and preparation for this season will be irrelevant ultimately, because they'll still get what they probably set out to do at the start of the season. I know they will not have any. Well, they could still win the Scottish Cup, obviously, but they'll not have any chance at a treble unless they win the Europa League. Which
we're going to win that. Even we're going to win that. Heard.
Maybe. I'd class it's pretty unlikely, but yeah, I understand it.
I've been my tickets for Turkey. That's just
for Turkey. I believe that, Megan.
I mean, that's just for a transplant, by the way. It's not for anything else. So.
Anyway, just before we round off the show for the night, I just had a little idea. I think Robbie's been doing these on the Friday shows at points. It's where I read out the pathway of a player's career from the clubs they've been at, and you need to guess the player. Are you guys just happy to do that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this player started his career in 1985 at Lazio.
Well, I think I'm going to take a stab. Can I take a stab right away?
Yeah, go.
Is it Paolo Di Canio?
No way!
I was gonna go with that, but obviously, well done, Megan. Well done. Good shout.
That's when you call proper ball knowledge. That was good.
Oh God! I was hoping that would fill some time. I need to find someone else rapid.
See, you don't mess with it. You don't mess with that's why Michael pays me good money to come on this show.
Okay. Wait, you get paid?
I'm turning down Sky Sports to be here tonight.
Oh God.
Yeah, Alex, you're not in the loop, mate. You're not getting paid.
All right. Okay. Right, next one. Hopefully this lasts a bit longer. This player started his career in 2000 at Celtic.
Oh, thank you very much. Donald D.
No.
He didn't start his career at Celtic. Never mind. On you go, next club.
Okay, he was at Celtic for... What are you saying, Reagan?
Andy Robertson.
No. 2000?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so then this player moved from Celtic to Stockport County in 2002 and was there for 3 years.
Stockport County? Is there any Stockport County fans listening? Because that'd be a wee help here.
No, I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue.
Okay. He then went from Stockport County to Scunthorpe United for 3 years.
I know who it is. It's Mr. G. Hooper. It's Gary Hooper.
No, it's not.
Oh,
He was so confident.
I was so sure there.
Ethan?
Nah, I've not even got a guess.
Okay.
I forgot Gary Hooper played for Scunthorpe. That's why I was thinking.
Okay, so he was at Scunthorpe for 3 years until 2008. He then moved to Huddersfield Town from 2008 till 2010.
It's no Aaron Moy even who went there.
No, I don't think Aaron Moy started his career at Celtic, did he?
I think that first one was long.
Nah, it's too early for him, isn't it?
Yep. And then he went on loan to Oldham Athletic.
Oh, for God's sake.
And he signed for Hamilton Accies in 2010.
2010.
Oh, it's not him. It's too late for him. It's too late for him.
Just say it, Reagan, why not?
No.
I don't know who it is.
No, we have one player that no played for Celtic was Massimo Denai, but he's not him.
No. Okay. That should give it away. The next club. He went from Hamilton Accies in 2011 to St Mirren, and he was there for 5 years.
Jim Goodwin.
Yep.
Jim Goodwin's had a sloggy career, eh? Scunthorpe United, Oldham and Stockport. Oh, poor Jim.
All right. Just want to do one more?
All right.
Yeah, we can do.
I'm quite enjoying this, eh?
Okay. Last one, and then we'll wrap up the show. So this player started his career in 2005. It's CEO Les Ulis.
Oh, I'm going to make a random one and say Andreas Hinkel.
Nope. Ethan, any guesses?
2005. Morris Edu.
Nope. He was at CEO Les Ulis for a year, and then he joined Mendy in 2006.
No.
Do you want me to just rattle through these clubs that I've never heard of before until we get on to...
Yeah.
Okay. So he then went to US St. George or St. George's or something in 2007. He then moved back to CO Les Ulis in 2008.
Oh, they must be good.
What are you saying, Reagan?
I said they must have been good if he went back.
Yeah. He then went to Saint Genevieve Sports in 2009. He then this is where you start hearing places you've heard of. He then moved from Saint Genevieve Sports to Southend United in 2010.
Who was in Celtic or Rangers and went to Southend United? Oh,
I
not
don't
got a
Okay.
clue.
He then went on loan to Ipswich Town in his time at Southend United before joining Rangers in 2013 and was there for 2 years.
Oh, is that is that Bocanegra?
No.
Oh, is it Moshney?
Yeah.
Oh, big Moshney.
Well done. That was
That guy,
good.
that guy loves a punch up, doesn't he? Oh
well,
Regan, have you been on the bevy tonight?
no, I'm just enjoying my night.
well, what team was it that Moshney famously or infamously was fighting?
Motherwell.
Yeah, it was. So,
Motherwell.
Tomorrow. All right. Well, thank you to everyone for watching and listening to the Scottish Football Zone this evening. Thank you to Regan and Ethan for joining me to talk about the game and then have a bit of fun with the player pathways. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave your comments. All that good stuff. Go follow us across all platforms. And we'll be back tomorrow night as there is another full card of SPFL action. There'll be 5 games for us to discuss. So we'll see you then.
You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions